Imagine you're an artist and you have to paint a picture called peace. What would you draw? What would be on your painting? If we haven't met, I'm Magdalena, a qualified English teacher whose passion is helping English learners. And if you would like to get to know me better, feel free to browse my channel or contact me at my email address. Welcome to the second video of my Advent English series. Remember the 4 candles on the Advent wreath? Remind us of the virtues that prepare our hearts for Christ's coming. The first candle represents hope. And if you haven't watched my first video on hope, please do. You will improve your English and also feel inspired. The second candle represents peace. The third candle represents joy. And the fourth candle, love. Since the second week of Advent represents peace, today's video will focus on peace. First, we'll look at different definitions of the word peace. Then we'll go through some vocabulary related to this word, including idioms. After that, we'll talk about the importance of peace. Is it really important? And can we truly find it? I hope you will love this video and find it practical and inspiring. Let's start with the definition of the word peace. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, peace is freedom from war and violence, especially when people live and work together happily without disagreements. Another definition says that peace is a situation in which there is quiet and calm. How do you like these definitions? Honestly, I don't. To me, they sound pretty shallow, not deep enough. Peace must be more than just freedom from war and violence, right? And of course, quiet and calm sound great, but what if my situation is not quiet or calm? Can I still have peace? I'm sure you heard about Mother Teresa. She said that peace starts with a smile. But where did she get her peace? Someone else said that true peace is looking at yourself in the mirror every day and not feeling guilty about anything. But is that even possible? Another person said peace is an ideal human condition. Since it's ideal, does that mean it can never be reached? Some say peace is a condition of mind brought about by a serenity of soul. Serenity means the quality of being peaceful and calm. But what gives my soul serenity? In Hebrew, the word for peace is shalom, and it means being complete, being whole. It's like having all the pieces of a puzzle, not missing even one. But is it possible to be whole in this broken and messed up world? What do you think? I would love to hear your definition of peace. While you are thinking, let's look at some vocabulary related to the word peace. Of course, you already know the words peace and peaceful. For example, we had a peaceful afternoon without the children. Then you know the words calmness and calm. For example, the wind failed and the sea returned to calmness. The sea was calm, or you could say stay calm. You've just heard the word serenity, which means the quality of being peaceful and calm. For example, she was able to face death with serenity. Serenity is a noun. Serene is an adjective. It means peaceful and calm. For example, she looked as calm and serene as she always did. The next word, tranquil, means calm and peaceful and without noise, violence, worry. For example, she stared at the tranquil surface of the water. Tranquility is a noun. For example, the hotel is a haven of peace and tranquility. Did you hear? Haven. I didn't say heaven. Haven. Haven means a safe place. So the hotel is a haven of peace and tranquility. Let me mention also the word harmony here. A situation in which people are peaceful and agree with each other, or when things seem right or suitable together. For example, the couple lives in perfect harmony. Now let's see whether you're familiar with the following phrases with the word peace. Peace of mind. One of the definitions is the absence of mental stress or anxiety. For example, I could not have complete peace of mind before they returned. Or having household insurance is supposed to give you peace of mind. Peace of mind is also called inner peace. For example, she finally found inner peace and happiness. I'm sure you know what make peace means, right? You would say to make peace with someone. It means to stop fighting or disagreeing with someone. For example, he returned to the village to make peace with his mother. Of course, you know the Nobel Peace Prize. It celebrates the work of people or organizations around the world who have achieved amazing things in different areas to help the world. Remember, you should say the Nobel Peace Prize, not Nobel. Some students say Nobel. The Nobel Peace Prize. For example, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Are you familiar with the next phrase, rest in peace or RIP? It's said to express the hope that someone's spirit has found peace after death. For example, she was a decent and compassionate woman. Decent means good. She was a good woman. So she was a decent and compassionate woman. May she rest in peace. Peace talks are formal discussions to resolve conflict between groups. For example, it looks likely that the peace talks will fail. Bad news, right? A peace treaty is an agreement to come to peace and end conflict. For example, between governments, countries, etc. Here's an example for you. The peace treaty was signed. Okay, now let's look at some idioms for peace. Are you ready? Calm before the storm. What does it mean? It means a moment of peace before an upcoming challenge or a conflict. For example, everyone was relaxed, not realizing it was the calm before the storm. Let's look at the next one. Bury the hatchet. Do you know what a hatchet is? It's a short axe for chopping wood. So bury the hatchet. It means to end a conflict and reconcile with someone, to make peace with someone. So to end a conflict and reconcile or make peace with someone. For example, they buried the hatchet after years of arguing. Let's bury the hatchet and move on from the past. The next one, patch things up. Patch things up. It means to fix a damaged relationship or situation. For example, they patched things up after their disagreement. Let's patch things up and start fresh. The next one, let bygones be bygones. It means to forgive someone for something done or for a disagreement and to forget about it. For example, I know we've had our fights over the years, but I think it's time we let bygones be bygones. It means let's forgive each other. Let's forget what happened. Okay? So it's time we let bygones be bygones. Here's one of my favorite idioms. Are you ready? Cool as a cucumber. It means extremely calm and composed, especially under pressure. For example, she was cool as a cucumber during the crisis. Or even in chaos, he remains cool as a cucumber. Okay, now that you have improved your English on peace, let's discuss the importance of peace and whether it's possible to find it. Do we need peace at all? Could we live without it? Could we live without peace? I'm sure you heard that anxiety and depression are at an all-time high right now, especially among teens and young adults. But why? Well, Generation Z experiences more anxiety and depression for several reasons. It's even labeled the anxious generation and the loneliest generation. Technology, especially smartphones and social media, creates pressure to look perfect and have an exciting life, which can cause jealousy, low self esteem, and fear of missing out. Cyberbullying is also easier online. Besides, many young people face stress from money problems, such as worries about housing, food, or debt. School pressure is another big factor, as many teens feel they must get good grades to enter a good college, and social media makes this competition even stronger. Constant access to negative news also increases anxiety, especially during events like the COVID-19 pandemic, when media reports made the future feel uncertain and scary. But it would be naive to think that only Generation Z suffers from anxiety. Anxiety is a common problem for people of all ages. Younger people often feel pressure from digital life and an unstable economy, while older generations may feel stressed because of money worries or global events. However, studies show that Gen Z usually has the highest level of anxiety. But it seems we all need this thing called peace, right? Not only Gen Z. There are so many things trying to steal our peace. They are like thieves of peace. What or who is the thief of your peace? And what or who can give us true peace? Many of us who celebrate Advent believe that humanity's original peace was found in our Creator, who designed us and made us in His own image. But we lost that original peace with God in the Garden of Eden through disobedience, which led to separation, shame, conflict, and death. A baby can find true peace in a mother's or father's loving arms. The same is true for us. Only our Creator, who knows us and loves us as we are, can give us true peace, the serenity and peace of mind we mentioned earlier. But if our true peace was originally in God, then to regain this peace, to get it back, we have to look for it in Him again, right? The problem is that we often look for peace in other places. Some try to find peace in religion, some in money and wealth, some in fame, some in relationships, some in success, some in social media, and some try to find inner peace within themselves. But nothing can truly satisfy us, because the emptiness in our heart is shaped like God, our Creator. He's the only one who can fill our hearts with true peace. Did you hear that? I didn't say that religion can give us real peace. God does not want religion. He wants a relationship. But if we lost our original peace with God, if we were separated from Him, how can we regain this peace? Well, this is what Advent and Christmas are all about. Remember the birthday boy, Jesus? Let me read something to you. You might have never heard it before, so this is going to be very exciting for you. Isaiah 9:6 is a famous prophetic verse in the Bible foretelling the coming of the Messiah, the Savior, stating, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." This verse is about the birthday boy, Jesus. He is called the Prince of Peace. As Stephen Furtick, an American pastor, author, singer, and composer, said, he is not called the Prince of Convenience, or the prince of my preferences. God is not promising us convenience, that everything will be great, everything will be perfect. We can also relate it to your English learning. God is not promising that you will never make mistakes. Your English will be perfect. No. Jesus, the King of Kings, was born in very imperfect circumstances, not in a palace, but in a stable, in a manger. Do you know what a manger is? It's an open box that cows, horses, and other animals feed from when indoors. What does this mean? Does it mean that if you put your trust in the Prince of Peace, you will never have storms in your life? No. But you can be sure that He will meet you in the storm. He will guide you. He will give you strength and hope. He will give you peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. This peace doesn't come from the world, from people. Because if it comes from people, then people can take it away. If it comes from situations, situations can change and take your peace away. You don't want peace that comes from a promotion at work, or from a convenient circumstance, or from social media, or from a feeling. Because this kind of peace is like a bubble. It will pop. You want peace that the world didn't give, and the world can't take away. This true peace is found in the Prince of Peace, and only in Him. Remember, I asked you a question at the beginning of the video? Imagine you're an artist and you have to paint a picture called Peace. What would you draw? What would be on your painting? Well, there is a beautiful painting by Jack E. Dawson called Peace in the Midst of the Storm. I can't show it to you for copyright reasons, but you can close your eyes and imagine it as I describe it. You can look it up later if you'd like. In this picture, a tiny dove, a tiny bird, rests quietly in her nest, even though a loud storm and a strong waterfall are all around her. The artist wants to show that life will always have storms. Difficult things will happen, and evil exists in the world. But the Prince of Peace is stronger, and if we trust Him, He will be with us in the storm. So my hope for you is that you find a safe place in the one who has power over every storm. Only He can give us real peace, even when life feels dark or scary. Let me finish with Jesus' words in John 16:33. I have told you these things so that you may have peace in me. In this world you will have trouble, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Thank you so much for giving me your precious time. I hope to see you in the third week of Advent too. Until then, put your trust in the Prince of Peace.